Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. Before we really dive into the nanostructures here, just wanted to take a moment here on the larger time frame, bigger picture wise, to take a look at where are we actually heading. So at the moment, the idea is still that we could be on our way to 130k. Just again, need to remind everybody, this isn't necessarily the maximum. Yeah, I've never said this is like the maximum target. This has been my target for this bull market. A target doesn't mean maximum. It just hasn't been. It's never meant like, a target is not a maximum. It's just like a target. And we just have to see, of course, right? How does the price react to that level? And also, it's not like a level. It's more an area around 130k. It can easily stretch a little higher. So what I want to highlight here, we have to see how the price reacts to this area before we really say, okay, this was probably the top, or, if we're in the midst of a third wave and momentum is up, I mean, just common sense, we it's just that I get a lot of messages, people ask me, but what if it goes higher? I mean, I'm not saying we have to stop there. This is 130k. The risk is extremely high. I've mentioned that time and time again. Check out my videos on the MCO Global channel, where I really dive into the larger time frames in detail. I mean, most questions should be answered there on the MCO Global channel, where I cover really the weekly charts as well regularly, right? And it's about understanding when we get there, how does the price react? That is exactly what we need to be watching for, okay? So if we're in the midst of a third wave rally, I'm not going to say, it's going to stop. We have a bull market target. It's just that the risk is high on the macro level. But overall, I mean, this is, again, the area around 130k has been my target for, I don't know, 1 or 2 years. I can't even remember. But we're getting closer to that train station, right? The train is slowly moving into the station. Well, more or less slowly. I mean, the movement of the last few days has been quite aggressive, which is nice to see. Always good to see some momentum in the crypto sector. But yeah, I mean, overall, this is the roadmap for higher prices. From this B wave low on the 22nd of June, I mean, we've been tracking here a 1-2 setup, another 1-2 setup. We could now be in the midst of a third wave, something I would call like the heart of a third wave. And the weekend might be characterized by maybe a fourth wave, and then we go higher, and another fourth wave, and we go higher. So weekends are often like fourth wave consolidation patterns. Yeah. Now let us take a look at the shorter time frame. And again, I only really focus on this scenario right now because it takes a break below support to and then we need to see how the price breaks support to really come up with an alternative here. I mean, I already mentioned to you what an alternative might be, possibly a diagonal structure. Because I could say, I mean, I can show you an alternative. It would be a reasonable one because this is a C wave, would be an ending diagonal, not an impulse. So in a diagonal, we have 3 waves up in one. Hold on, let me just change the color and wave degree. But honestly, until we really break support, this is really only a potential, right? This is really only a potential. So we could also move the same direction, but with a slightly different structure. So we have a 1-2 setup, but then the wave 1 was only in 3 waves. We also had the wave 2, but the third wave will be an ABC structure. So if we get a deep pullback, for example, along the way, then we likely have struck an A wave top, and we might get a B wave pullback and then go higher. So this is often a move that shakes out those who set the stop losses too tight in crypto. Okay. Now you might say, okay, but if I set it too wide, then I make huge losses. But that's the key. So you have to find what works for you. But if you have a tight stop loss, you can have a larger position size, of course. But if you want to avoid getting stopped out and it just continues to run, then you have to have smaller position sizes, because then that's how you manage risk, right? It's just like the basics. But basically, as long as we're still holding the upper micro support here at 112,940, and this is the same support area we talked about previously, the direct momentum is up. Yeah, I can just slightly change it here. It's 113k now, because the price made that one more wick to the upside. But yeah, overall, as long as we're holding that 50% retracement, the upside impulse can stay alive. So yeah, that's the update on Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.